The foremost of regenerate ons, the faithful defeated at dice, but the sons of Dhritarashtra and their counsellors insisted but those wicked ons that thus brought about a fierce animosity, and addressed in language that was so cruel. What did the Kuru prince, my ancestor, the sons of Pritha, do? How did the sons of Pritha, equal unto Sakra in prowess, deprived of affluence, and suddenly overwhelmed with misery, pass their days in the forest? Who followed the steps of those princes, plunged in excess of affliction? And how did those high-souled ones bear themselves and derive their sustenance? And what did they put up? And how did those 12 years of those warriors who were slain of foes pass away in the forest? And undeserving of pain, how did that prince, the best of her sex, devoted to her husband, eminently virtuous, and always speaking the truth, endure that painful exile in the forest? Thou of ascetic wealth, tell me all this in detail, for I desire to hear thee narrate the history of those heroes possessed of abundant prowess and lustre. Truly my curiosity is great. Thus defeated at dice, and incensed by the wicked sons of Dhritarashtra and their counsellors, the sons of Pritha set out from Hastinapura, and ensuing through Vardhamana gate of the city, the Pandavas bearing their weapons and accompanied by Draupadi set out in a northerly direction. Indrasena and others, with servants numbering altogether 14, with their wives, followed them on swift cars, and the citizens, learning of their departure, became overwhelmed with sorrow, and began to censure Bhishma and Vidyura and Drona and Gautama, and having met together they thus addressed one another fearlessly. Alas, our families, we ourselves, and our homes are all gone, when the wicked Duryodhana, backed by the son of Suvala, Bakarna, and Dusasana, aspireth to this kingdom, and our families, our usays, our virtue and prosperity are all doomed where this sinful wretch, supported by wretches as sinful, aspireth to the kingdom. And how can happiness be there where these are not? Duryodhana beareth malice towards our superiors, hath taken leave of good conduct, and quarrelleth with those that are near to him in blood, covetous and vain, and when he is cruel by nature. The whole earth is doomed when Duryodhana becometh its ruler. Thither, therefore, let us proceed whither the merciful and high-minded sons of Pandu, with pastors under control and victorious over foes, and possessed of modest and renown, and devoted to pious practice, repair. And saying this, the citizens went after the Pandavas, and having met them, they all, with joined hands, thus addressed the sons of Kunti and Madri. Blessed be ye, where will ye go, leaving us in grief? We will follow you whithersoever ye will go. Surely have we been distressed upon learning that ye have been deceitful, vanquished by relentless enemies. It behoveth you not to forsake us that are your loving subjects and devoted friends, always seeking your welfare and employed in doing what is agreeably to you. We desire not to be overwhelmed in certain destruction, living in the dominions of the Kuru king. Ye bows among men, listen as we indicate the merits and demerities springing respectively from association with what is good and bad. As cloth, water, the ground, and the same seeds are performed by association with flowers, even are qualities ever the product of association. Verily association with fools produceth an illusion that entangleth the mind, as daily communion with the good and the wise leadeth to the praxis of virtue. Therefore, they that desire emancipation should associate with those that are wise and old and honest and poor in conduct and possessed of ascetic merit. They should be weighted upon whose triple possessions, knowledge, origin, and acts, are all poor, and association with them is even superior to the scriptures. Devoid of the religion's acts as we are, we shall yet heap religion's merit by association with the righteous, as we should come by sin by waiting upon the sinful. The very sight and touch of the dishonest, and converse and association with them, cause diminution of virtue, and men never attain purity of mind. Association with the base imparieth the understanding, as indeed with the indifferent maketh it indifferent, while communion with the good ever exalteth it. All those attributes which are spoken of in the world as the source of religion's merit, of worldly prosperity and sensual pleasures, which are regarded by the people, extolled in the Vedas, and approved by the well-behaved, exist in you, separately and jointly. Therefore, desirous of our own welfare, we wish to live amongst you who possess those attributes. Yudhishthira said, Blessed are we, since the people with the Brahmanas at their head, moved by affection and compassion, credit us with merits we have not. I, however, with my brothers, would ask all of you to do one thing. Ye should not, through affection and pity for us, act otherwise. Our grandfather, Bhishma, the king, Vidyura, Mamada, and most of my well-wishers are all in the seat of Hastinapura. Therefore, if ye are minded to seek our welfare, cherish ye them with care, uniting together as they are overwhelmed with sorrow and afflictions. Grieved at our departure, ye have come far. Go ye back and let your hearts be directed with tenderness towards the relatives I entrust to you as pledges. This of all others is the one act upon which my heart is set, and by doing this ye will give me great satisfaction and pay me your best regards. Thus exhorted by Yudhishthira the just, the people in a body set up a loud wail, exclaiming, Alas, O king! And afflicted and overwhelmed with sorrow on remembering the victories of pretty her son, they unwillingly retraced their steps, asking leave of the Pandavas. The citizens having ceased to follow, the Pandavas ascended their cars, and setting out reached the mighty banyan tree called Pramana on the banks of the Ganges, and reaching the site of Banyan about the close of the day, the heroic sons of Pandu purified themselves by touching the water and passed the night there, and afflicted with war, they spent that night taking water alone as their sole sustenance. Certain Brahmanas belonging to both classes, those that maintained the sacrificial fire and those that maintained it not, who had with their disciples and relatives, out of affection, followed the Pandavas thither, passed the night with them, and surrounded by those utters of Brahma, the king shone resplendent in their midst, and that evening at once beautiful and terribly, those Brahmanas, having lighted their fires, began to chant the Vedas and hold mutual converse, and those foremost of Brahmanas, with swan sweet voices spent the night comforting that best of Kurus, the king. When that night passed away and day broke, those Brahmanas who supported themselves by mendicants stood before the Pandavas of exalted deeds who were about to enter the forest. Then King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, addressed them, saying, "Robbed of our prosperity and kingdom, robbed of everything, we are about to enter the deep woods in sorrow, depending for our food on fruits and roots and the produce of the chase. The forest too is full of dangers, and abounds with reptiles and beasts of prey. It appeareth to me that ye will certainly have to suffer much privation and misery there. The sufferings of the Brahmanas might overpower even the gods. That they would overwhelm me is too certain. Therefore, go ye back whithersoever ye list." The Brahmanas replied, "Our path is even that on which ye are for setting out. It behoveth thee not, therefore, to forsake us who are thy devoted admirers, practicing the true religion. The very gods have compassion upon their worshippers, especially upon Brahmanas of regulated lives." Yudhishthira said, "Ye regenerate ones are too I am devoted to the Brahmanas. This destitution that hath overtaken me overwhelmed me with confusion. These my brothers that are to procure fruits and roots and the deer are stupefied with grief, arising from their afflictions and on account of the distress of Draupadi and the loss of our kingdom. They are distressed. I cannot employ them in painful tasks." The Brahmana said, "Let no anxiety in respect of our maintenance find a place in thy heart, ourselves providing our own food. We shall follow thee, and by meditation and saying our prayers we shall compass thy welfare, while pleasant converse we shall entertain thee and be shared ourselves." Yudhishthira said, "Without doubt it must be as ye say, for I am ever pleased with the company of the regenerate ones. My fallen condition maketh me behold in myself an object of reproach. How shall I behold you all, that do not deserve to hear trouble, out of love for me, painful subsisting upon food procured by your own toil, fear upon the wicked sons of Dhritarashtra?" Saying this, the weeping king sat himself down upon the ground. Then a learned Brahmana, Aranyaka by name, versed in self-knowledge and skilled in the Sankhya system of yoga, addressed the king, saying, "Causes of grief by thousands, and causes of fear by hundreds, day after day, overwhelm the ignorant, not the wise. Surely sensible men like thee never suffer themselves to be deluded by acts that are opposed to true knowledge, fraught with every kind of evil and destructive observation. In thee dwelleth that understanding furnished with the 8 attributes, which is said to be capable of providing against all evils, and which resulteth from the study of the truth and scriptures. And men like unto thee are never stupefied on the accession of poverty, or an affliction overtaking their friends, through bodily or mental uneasiness. Listen, I shall tell these locusts which were chanted of old by the illustrious Janaka, touching the subject of controlling the self. This world is afflicted with both bodily and mental suffering. Listen now to the means of allaying it. I indicate them both briefly and in detail. Disease, contact with painful things, toil, and want of objects desired. These are the 4 causes that induce bodily suffering. And regards disease, it may be allayed by the application of medicine, while mental ailments are cured by seeking to forget them by yoga meditation. For this reason, sensibly physicians first seek to allay the mental suffering of their patients by agreeably converse and the offer of the desirable objects, and a hot iron bar thrust into a jar maketh the water therein hot. Even so doth mental grief bring on bodily agony, and water quencheth fire. So doth true knowledge allay mental disquietude, and the mind attaining ease, the body findeth ease. It seemeth that affection is the root of all mental sorrow. It is affection that maketh every creature miserable, and bringeth on every kind of woe. Verily affection is the root of all misery and of all fear, of joy and grief, of every kind of pain. From affection spring all purpose, and it is from affection that spring the love of worldly goods. Both of these are sources of evil, though the first is worse than the second. And as the fire thrust into the hollow of a tree consumeth the tree itself to its roots, even so affection ever little destroyeth both virtue and profit. He cannot be regarded to have renounced the world who have merely withdrawn from worldly possessions. He, however, who talk in actual contact with the world regardeth its faults, may be said to have truly renounced the world. Freed from every evil passion, so dependent on nothing, with such a one have truly renounced the world. Therefore should no one seek to place his affections on either friends or the wealth he hath earned, and should affection for one own person be extinguished by knowledge, like the lotus leaf that is never drenched by water, the souls of men capable of distinguishing between the ephemeral and the everlasting, of men devoted to the pursuit of the eternal, conversant with the scriptures and purified by knowledge, can never be moved by affection. The man that is influenced by affection is tortured by desire, and from the desire that springeth up in his heart, his thirst for worldly possessions increaseth. Verily, this thirst is sinful, and is regarded as the source of all anxieties. It is this terrible thirst, fraught with sin, that leaneth unto righteous acts. Those find happiness that can renounce this thirst, which can never be renounced by the wicked, which decayeth not with the decay of the body, and which is truly a fatal disease. It hath neither beginning nor end. Dwelling within the heart, it destroyeth creatures like a fire of incorporeal origin. And as a fagot of wood is consumed by the fire that is fed by itself, even so doth a person of impure soul find destruction from the covetousness born of his heart. And as creatures endowed with life have ever a dread of death, so men of wealth are in constant apprehension of the king and the thief, of water and fire, and even of their relatives. And as a morsel of meat, if in air, may be devoured by birds, if on ground by beasts of prey, if in water by the fishes, even so is the man of wealth exposed to dangers wherever he may be. Too many, the wealth, their own is their bane, and he that beholding happiness in wealth becometh wedded to it, knoweth not true happiness, and hence ascension of wealth is viewed as that which increaseth covetousness and folly. Indeed, wealth alone is the root of niggardliness and boastfulness, pride and fear and anxiety. These are the miseries of men that the wise see in riches. Men undergo infinite miseries in the acquisition and retention of wealth. Its expenditure is fraught with grief. Nay, sometimes life itself is lost for the sake of unwealth. The abandonment of unwealth produces misery, and even they that are cherished by unwealth become enemies for the sake of that unwealth. When therefore the possession of wealth is fraught with such misery, one should not mind its loss. It is the ignorant alone who are discontented. The wise, however, are always content. The thirst of wealth can never be assuaged. Contentment is the highest happiness. Therefore it is that the wise regard contentment as the highest object of pursuit. The wise, knowing the instability of youth and beauty, of life and treasury hoards, of prosperity and the company of the loved ones, never covet them. Therefore one should refrain from the acquisition of wealth, bearing the pain incident to it. None that is rich is free from trouble, and it is for this that the virtues applaud them that are free from the desire of wealth. And as regards those that pursue wealth for purpose of virtue, it is better for them to refrain altogether from such pursuit, for surely it is better not to touch meat at all than to wash it off after having been besmeared with it. And it behoveth thee not to covet anything, and if thou wouldst have virtue, emancipate thyself from desire of worldly possessions. Yudhishthira said, This my desire of wealth is not for enjoying it when obtained. It is only for the support of the Brahmanas that I desire it, and not because I am actuated by avarice. For what purpose doth one like us lead a domestic life, if he cannot cherish and support those that follow him? All creatures are seen to divide the food amongst those that depend on them. So the person leading a domestic life give a share of his food to yatis and brahmacharis that have renounced cooking for themselves. The houses of the good men can never be in want of grass, space, water, and fourthly sweet words. To the weary a bed, to one fatigued with standing a seat, to the thirst water, and to hungry food should ever be given. To a guest are due pleasant looks and a cheerful heart and sweet words. The host rising up should advance towards the guest, offer him a seat, and will worship him. Even this is eternal morality. They that perform not the Agnihotra, nor wait upon bulls, nor cherish their kinsmen, and guests, and friends, and sons, and wives, and servants, are consumed with sin for such neglect. None should cook his food for himself alone, and none should slay an animal without dedicating it to the gods, the Pitris, and guests. Nor should one eat of that food which hath not been duly dedicated to the gods and Pitris, by scattering food on the earth, morning and evening, for dogs and khandalas and birds. So the person perform the Visvadeva sacrifice. He that eateth the Vigihasa is regarded as eating ambrosia. What remaineth in a sacrifice after dedication to the gods and the Pitris is regarded as ambrosia, and what remaineth after feeding the guest is called Vigihasa, and is equivalent to ambrosia itself. Feeding a guest is equivalent to a sacrifice, and the pleasant looks the host casteth upon the guest, the attention he devoteth to him, the sweet words in which he addresseth him, the respect he payeth by following him, and the food and drink with which he treateth him, are the 5 dakshina's in that sacrifice. He who giveth without stint food to a fatigued wayfarer, never seen before, obtaineth merit that is great. and he who, leading a domestic life, followeth such practice, acquireth religion's merit, that is said to be very great. What is thy opinion on this? Saunaka said, this world is full of contradictions. That which shameth the good, gratifieth the wicked. Moved by ignorance and passion, and slaves of their own senses, even fools perform mean acts to gratify their appetites. With eyes open are these men led astray by their seducing senses, even as a charioteer who hath lost his senses by his thief and wicked steeds. When any of the six senses findeth its particular object, the desire springeth up in the heart to enjoy that particular object. And thus when one heart proceedeth to enjoy the objects of any particular sense, a wish is entertained, which in its turn giveth birth to a resolve. And finally, like unto an insect falling into a flame from love of light, the man falleth into the fire of temptation, fixed by the shafts of the object of enjoyment, discharged by the desire constituting the seed of the resolve, and thenceforth blinded by sensual pleasure, which he seeketh without instinct, and stepped in dark ignorance and folly, which he mistaketh for a state of happiness he knoweth not himself. And like unto a well that is incessantly rolling every creature from ignorance and deed and desire, falleth into various states in this world, wandering from one birth to another, and hangeth the entire circle of existence from a Brahma to the point of a blade of grass, now in water, now on land, and now again in the air. This then is the care of those that are without knowledge. Listen now to the course of the wise, they that are intent on profitable virtue, and are desirous of emancipation. The Vedas enjoin act, but renounce action. Therefore shouldst thou act, renouncing abhimana, performance of sacrifice, stud, gifts, penance, truth, forgiveness, subduing the senses, and renunciation of desire. These have been declared to be the 8 duties constituting the true path. Of these, the 4 first pave the way to the world of the Pitris, and these should be practiced without abhimana. The 4 last are always observed by the pious, to attain the heaven of the gods, and the poor in spirit should ever follow this 8th path. Those who wish to subdue the world for purpose of salvation should ever act full renouncing motives, effectually subduing their senses, rigidly observing particular vows, devotedly serving their preceptors, austerely regulating their fare, diligently studying the Vedas, renouncing action as mean, and restraining their hearts. By renouncing desire and aversion, the gods have attained prosperity. It is by virtue of their wealth of yoga that the Rudras and the Sadhiyas, and the Adityas, and the Vasus, and the twins as wings rule the creatures. Therefore, like unto them do thou, entirely refraining from action with motive, strive to attain success in yoga and by ascetic austerities. Thou hast already achieved such success so far as thy debts to thy ancestor, both male and female, concerned, and that success which is derived from action, do thou for serving the regenerate ones, endeavor to attain success in penances. Those that are crowned with ascetic success can, by virtue of that success, do whatever they list. Do thou, therefore, practicing asceticism, realize all thy wishes. Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, thus addressed by Saunaka, approached his priest, and in the midst of his brothers said, The Brahmanas vested in the Vedas are following me who I am departing for the forest. Afflicted with many calamities, I am unable to support them. I cannot abandon them, nor have I the power to offer them sustenance. Tell me what should be done by me in such a pass. After reflecting for a moment, seeking to find out the cause by his yoga powers, the Haumia, that foremost of all virtuous men, addressed Yudhishthira in these words. In days of old, all living beings that had been created were sorely afflicted with hunger, and like a father, Savita took compassion upon them, and going first into the northern declension, the sun drew up water by his rays, and coming back to the southern declension, stayed over the earth with his heat centered in himself. And while the sun so stayed over the earth, the Lord of the vegetable world, converting the effects of the solar heat into clouds and pouring them down in the shape of water, caused plants to spring up. Thus it is the sun himself who, drenched by the lunar influence, is transformed upon the sprouting of seeds into whole vegetable furnished with the 6 tastes. And it is these which constitute the food of all creatures upon the earth. Thus the food that supporteth the lives of creatures is instincted with solar energy, and the sun is therefore the father of all creatures. Do thou, hence, take refuge even in him. Our illustrious monarchs of pure descent and deeds are known to have delivered their people by practicing high asceticism. The great Kartaviriya and Vainiya and Nahusa had all, by virtue of ascetic meditation, preceded by vows, delivered their people from heavy afflictions. Therefore, as thou art purified by the acts, do thou likewise, entering upon a life of austerities, virtuously support the regenerate ones. How did that bull among the Kurus, King Yudhishthira, for the sake of the Brahmanas, adore the sun of wonderful appearance? Listen attentively, purifying thyself and withdrawing thy mind from every other thing, and appoint thou a time. I will tell thee everything in detail, and listen to the 108 names as they were disclosed of old by the Haumia to the high-souled son of Pritha. The Haumia said, Surya, Aryaman, Bihaga, Tivastri, Pusha, Arka, Savitri, Havi, Gabihastimati, Aja, Kala, Mrityu, Dihatri, Prabhakara, Pritihibi, Apa, Teja, Kiha, Vayu, the Sol stay, Soma, Vrihaspati, Sukra, Buddha, Angaraka, Indra, Vivasvat, Dipitanshu, Sukhi, Sauri, Sanaikhara, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Skanda, Vaisravana, Yama, Vaidyutagni, Yatiharagni, Aindina, Teja Sampati, Dharma Divaja, Vedakartri, Vedanga, Vedavahana, Krita, Treta, Divapara, Kali, Kala, Kastiha, Muhurta, Kishapa, Yama, Kishana, Samvatisara Kara, Asvatiha, Kalakhakra, Bibihavasu, Purusha, Sasvata, Yogin, Vyakita, Sanatana, Kaladihi Aksha, Prajadihi Aksha, Visvakarma, Tamounda, Varuna, Sagara, Ansu, Jimuta, Jivana, Arihan, Bihutasraya, Bihutapati, Sarastri, Samvartaka, Vanhi, Sarvadi, Alolupa, Ananta, Kapila, Bihanu, Kamada, Sarvatomukhiha, Jaya, Visala, Varada, Manas, Suparna, Bihutadi, Sigihaga, Prandiharana, Dihanvantari, Dihumaketu, Adideva, Aditisuta, Divada Satman, Aravindakisha, Pitri, Matri, Pitamaha, Sivarga Divara, Praja Divara, Mokisha Divara, Tripistapa, Dehakarti, Prasantatman, Visvatman, Visvatomukhiha, Kharatiman, Sukismatman, Maitreya. These are the 108 names of Surya, of immeasurable energy, as taught by the self-create. For the acquisition of prosperity, I bow down to thee, blazing like unto god of fire, who is worshipped of the gods and the Pitris and the Yakihas, and who is adored by Asuras, Nisakharas, and Siddhas. He that with fixed attention reciteth this hymn at sunrise obtaineth wife and offspring and riches and the memory of his former existence. And by reciting this hymn a person attaineth patience and memory. Let a man concentrating his mind recite this hymn. By doing he shall be proof against grief, and forest fire, and ocean, and every object of desire shall be his. Having heard from the Haumia these words suitably to the occasion, Yudhishthira, the just, with heart concentrated within itself and purifying it duly, became engaged in ascetic meditation, moved by the desire of supporting the Brahmanas, and worshipping the maker of day with offspring of flowers and other articles. The king performed his ablutions, and standing in the stream he turned his face towards the god of day. And touching the water of the Ganges, the virtuous Yudhishthira, with senses under complete control and depending upon air alone for his sustenance, stood there with rapt soul engaged in pranayama, and having purified himself and restrained his speech, he began to sing the hymn of praise. Yudhishthira said, Thou art the eye of the universe, thou art the soul of our corporeal existence, thou art the origin of all things, thou art the embodiment of the acts of our religion's men, thou art the refuge of those versed in the Sankhya philosophy, and thou art the support of the yogins, thou art a door unfastened with bolts, thou art the refuge of those wishing for emancipation, thou sustainest and discoverest the world, and sanctifiest and supportest it from pure compassion. Brahmana versed in the Vedas, appearing before thee, adore thee in due time, reciting the hymns from the respective branches they refer. Thou art the adored of the Rishis, the Siddhas, and the Haranas, and the Gandhiharvas, and the Yakishas, and the Guhyakas, and the Nagas, desirous of obtaining boons, follow thy ear, coursing through the skies. The 33 gods, with Upendra, and Mahendra, and the order of Vaimanikas, have attained success by worshipping thee, by offering the garlands of the celestial mandaras. The best of the Vidyadharas have obtained all their desires. The Guhyas and the 7 orders of the Pitris, both divine and human, have attained superiority by adoring thee alone. The Vasus, the Marutas, and the Hudras, the Sadhiyas, the Marikhipas, the Valikihiliyas, and the Siddhas have attained preeminence by bowing down unto thee. There is nothing that I know in the entire 7 worlds, including that of Brahma, which is beyond thee. There are other beings both great and endowed with energy. None of them have thy lustre and energy. Our light is in thee. In thee thou art the Lord of our light. In thee are the elements and our intelligence, and knowledge, and asceticism, and the ascetic properties. The discus by which the wielder of the Sarania humbleth the pride of Asuras, and which is furnished with a beautiful nave, was forged by Visvakarman with thy energy. In summer thou drawest by thy rings moisture from our corporeal existence, and plants and liquid substances, and pourest it down in the rainy season. Thy rays, warm and scorched, and becoming as clouds hoar, and flash with lightning, and pour down showers, when the season cometh. Neither fire, nor shelter, nor woolen clothes give great comfort to one suffering from chilling blasts than thy rays. Thou illuminest by thy rays the whole earth with her 13 islands. Thou alone art engaged in the welfare of the 3 worlds. If thou dost not rise, the universe becometh blind, and the learned cannot employ themselves in the attainment of virtue, wealth, and property. It is through thy grace that the orders of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaisyas are able to perform their various duties and sacrifices. Those versed in chronology say that thou art the beginning and thou the end of a day of a Brahma, which consisteth of a full 1,000 yugas. Thou art the Lord of Manus, and of the sons of Manus, of the universe and of men, of the Manvantaras, and their lords. When the time of universal dissolution cometh, the fire Samvartaka, born of thy wrath, consumeth the 3 worlds, and existeth alone, in clouds of various hues, begot of thy rays, accompanied by the elephant Airavata and the thunderbolt, bring about the appointed deluge, and dividing thyself into 12 parts, and becoming as many suns, thou drinkest up the ocean once more with thy rays. Thou art called Indra, thou art Vishnu, thou art Brahma, thou art Prajapati, thou art fire, and thou art the subtle mind, and thou art Lord and the eternal Brahma, thou art Hansa, thou art Savitri, thou art Bihanu, Ansumalin, and Vrishakapi. Thou art Vivasvan, Mihira, Pusha, Mitra, and Dharma. Thou art 1,000 Hayad, thou art Aditya, and Tapana, and the Lord of Highs. Thou art Martanda, and Arka, and Havi, and Surya, and Saranya, and Maker of Day, and Divakara, and Supitasaspiti, and Dihumakeshin, and Virokhana. Thou art spoken of as swift of speed, and the destroyer of darkness, and the possessor of yellow steeds. He that reverentially adoreth thee on the 6th or the 7th lunar day with humility and tranquillity of mind obtaineth the grace of Lakshmi. They that with undivided attention adore and worship thee are delivered from all dangers, agonies, and afflictions, and they that hold that thou art everywhere, living long, freed from sin and enjoying an immunity from all disease. It behoveth thee to grant food in abundance unto me, who am desirous of food, even for entertaining our guests with reverence. Above to all those followers of thine that have taken refuge at thy feet, Matihara, and Aruna, and Danda, and others, including Asani, and Kishuva, and the others, and above to the celestial mothers of all creatures, Kishuva, and Maitri, and the others of the class. Let them deliver me their suppliant. Thus was the sun that purifier of the world adored, and pleased with him, the maker of day, self-luminous and blazing like fire, showed himself to the son of Pandu. And Vivasvan said, Thou shalt obtain all that thou desirest. I shall provide thee with food for 5 and 7 years together, and accept this copper vessel which I give unto thee. As long as Pankali will hold this vessel, without partaking of its contents, fruits and roots, and meat and vegetables cooked in thy kitchen. These 4 kinds of food shall from this day be inexhaustibly, and on the 14th year from this thou shalt regain thy kingdom. Having said this, the god vanishing away, he that with the desire of obtaining a boon reciteth this hymn, concentrating his mind with ascetic abstraction, obtaineth it from the sun. However difficult of acquisition it may be that he asketh for, and the person, male or female, that reciteth or heareth this hymn day after day, if he or she desireth for a son, obtaineth on, and if riches obtaineth them, and if learning acquireth that too. And the person, male or female, that reciteth this hymn every day in the 2 twilights, if overtaken by danger, is delivered from it, and if bound, is freed from the bonds. Brahma himself had communicated this hymn to the illustrious Sakra, and from Sakra was it obtained by Narada, and from Narada by the Haumia, and Yudhishthira obtained it from the Haumia, attained all his wishes, and it is by virtue of this hymn that one may always obtain victory in war, and acquire immense wealth, and it leadeth the reciter from all things to the solar region. Having obtained the boon, the virtuous son of Kunti, rising from the water, took hold of the Haumia feet, and then embraced his brothers, and wending then with Draupadi to the kitchen, and adored by her duly, the son of Pandu set himself to cook food, and the clean food, however little, that was dressed, furnished with the 4 tastes, increased and became inexhaustibly, and with it Yudhishthira began to feed the regenerate ones, and after the Brahmanas had been fed, and his younger brothers, Yudhishthira himself ate of the food that remained, and which is called Vigihasa, and after Yudhishthira had eaten, the daughter of Prishata took what remained, and after she had taken her meal, the day food became exhausted. And having thus obtained the boon from the maker of day, the son of Pandu, himself as resplendent as that celestial, began to entertain the Brahmanas agreeably to their wishes, and obedient to their priest, the sons of Pritha, on auspicious lunar days and constellations and conjunctions, performed sacrifices according to the ordinance, the scriptures, and the mantras. After the sacrifice, the sons of Pandu, blessed by the auspicious rites performed by the Haumia, and accompanied by him, and surrounded by the Brahmanas, set out for the woods of Kamyaka. After the Pandavas had gone to the forest, the Dhritarashtra, the son of Anvika, whose knowledge was his eye, became exceedingly sorrowful, and seated at his ease, the king addressed these words to the virtuous Vidura of profound intelligence. Thy understanding is as clear as that of Bhargava. Thou knowest all the subtleties or morality, and thou lookest on all the Kauravas with an equal eye. Tell me what is proper for me and them. Things having thus taken their course, what should we do now? How may I secure the goodwill of the citizens, so that they may not destroy us to the roots? Tell us all, since thou art conversant with every excellent expedient. Vidura said, the threefold purposes have their foundations in virtue, and the sages say that a kingdom standeth on virtue as its basis. According to the best of thy power, cherish thou virtuously thy own sons and those of Pandu. That virtue had been beguiled by wicked souls with Suvala son at their head, when thy sons invited the Raitunus, Yudhishthira, and defeated him in the match at dice. Of this deed of utter iniquity, I behold this expiation whereby thy son, freed from sin, may win back his position among good men. Let the sons of Pandu obtain that which was given unto them by thee. For verily even this is the highest morality, that a king should remain content with his own, and never covet another possessions. Thy good name then would not suffer, nor would family dissensions ensue, nor unrighteousness be thine. This then is thy prime duty now, to gratify the Pandavas and disgrace Sakuni. If thou wishest to restore to thy sons the good fortune they have lost, then do thou speedily adopt this line of conduct. If thou dost not act, the Kurus will surely meet with destruction, for neither Bhishmasena nor Arjuna, if angry, will leave any of their foes unslain. What is there in the world which is unattainable to those who count among their warriors Savyasakhin, skilled in arms, who have the Gandiva, the most powerful of all weapons in the world, for their bow, and who have among them the mighty Bhishma as a warrior? Formerly, as soon as thy son was born, I told thee, forsake thou this inauspicious child of thine. Herein lieth the good of thy haste. Thou didst not then act accordingly. Nor have I pointed out to thee the way of thy welfare. If thou doest as I have counselled, thou shalt not have to repent afterwards. If thy son consent to reign in peace jointly with the sons of Pandu, passing thy days in joy, thou shalt not have to repent. Should it be otherwise, abandon thou thy shield for thy own happiness. Putting Duryodhana aside, do thou install the son of Pandu in the sovereignty, and let Ajatasattu, free from passion, rule the earth virtuously. All the kings of the earth, then, like Vaishyas, will without delay pay homage unto us. And let Duryodhana and Sakuni and Karna with alacrity wait upon the Pandavas, and let Dusasana in open court ask forgiveness of Bhishmasena and of the daughter of Drupada, and do thou pacify Yudhishthira by placing him on the throne with every mark of respect. Ask it by thee, what else can I counsel thee to do? By doing this, thou wouldst do what was proper. Dhritarashtra said, these words then thou hast spoken in this assembly with reverence to the Pandavas and myself are for their good, not for ours. My mind doth not approve them. How hast thou settled all this in thy mind now? When thou hast spoken all this on behalf of the Pandavas, I perceive that thou art not friendly to me. How can I abandon my son for the sake of the sons of Pandu? Doubtless they are my sons. Duryodhana is sprung from my body. Who then, speaking with impartiality, will ever counsel me to renounce my own body for the sake of others? All that thou sayest is crooked. O dog, I hold thee in high esteem. Stay or go as thou likest. However much may she be humoured, an unchaste wife forsaketh her husband. Saying this, Dhritarashtra rose suddenly and went into the inner apartments, and Vidura, saying, "This haste is doomed," went away to where the sons of Pritha were. Desirous of living in the forest, those bulls of the Bharata race, the Pandavas, with their followers, setting out from the banks of the Ganges, went to the field of Kurukshetra, and performing their ablutions in the Sarasvati, the Drisadivati, and the Yamuna, they went from one forest to another, traveling in an westerly direction, and at length they saw before them the woods. Kamyaka, the favorite haunt of Munis, situated by level and wide plain on the banks of the Sarasvati, and in those woods, abounding in birds and deer, those heroes began to dwell, entertained and comforted by the Munis. And Vidura, always longing to see the Pandavas, went in a single car to the Kamyaka woods, abounding in every good thing. And arriving at Kamyaka on a car drawn by swift steeds, he saw Yudhishthira, the just, sitting with Draupadi at a retired spot, surrounded by his brothers and the Brahmanas. And seeing Vidura approach from a distance with swift steps, the virtuous king addressed brother Bhishmasena, saying, "With what message doth Kishata come to us? Doth he come hither, dispatched by Sakuni, to invite us again to a game of dice? Doth the little-minded Sakuni intend to win again our weapons at dice? Challenged by an own addressing me, come, I am unable to stay. And if our possessions of the Gandiva becomes doubtful, will not the acquisition of our kingdom?" The Pandavas then rose up and welcomed Vidura, and received by them that descendant of the Ajamida line sat in their midst, and made the usual inquiries. And after Vidura had hasted a while, those bulls among men asked him the reason of his coming, and Vidura began to relate unto them in detail everything connected with the bearing of Dhritarashtra, the son of Anvika. Vidura said, "Dhritarashtra called me his dependant before him, and honoring me duly, said, Things have fared thus. Now do thou tell me what is good for the Pandavas as well as for me." I pointed out what was beneficial to both the Kauravas and Dhritarashtra. What I said was not relished by him, nor could I hit upon any other course. What I advised was highly beneficial. The son of Anvika heeded me not. Even medicine recommendeth itself not to one that is ill, so my words failed to please the king, and therefore, as unchaste wife in the family of a man of poor descent cannot be brought back to the path of virtue, I failed to bring Dhritarashtra back. Indeed, as a young damsel doth not like a husband of 60, even Dhritarashtra did not like my words. Surely destruction will overtake the Kuru race. Surely Dhritarashtra will never acquire good fortune, for as water dropped on a lotus leaf doth not remain there, my counsels will fail to produce an effect to Dhritarashtra. The insensate Dhritarashtra told me, "Go thou thither where thou likest, nevermore shall I seek thy aid in ruling the earth or my capital." Forsaken by King Dhritarashtra, I come to thee for tendering good counsel. What I had said in the open court, I will now repeat unto thee. Listen and bear my words in mind. That wise man who bearing out the gross wrong heaped upon him by his enemies, patiently bideth his time, and multiplieth his resources, even as men by degrees turn a small fire into a large one, who left alone this entire earth. He that enjoyeth his substance with his adherents findeth in them sharers of his adversity. This is the best means of securing adherents, and it is said that he that hath adherents winneth the sovereignty of the world, and divided thy prosperity with thy adherents. Behave truthful towards them, and converse with them agreeably. Share your food with them, and never boast thyself in their presence. This behavior increaseth the prosperity of kings. Yudhishthira said, having recourse to such high intelligence, undisturbed by passion, I will do as thou counsellest, and whatever else thou mayest counsel in respect of time and place, I will carefully follow entirely. After Vidura had gone to the abode of the Pandavas, Dhritarashtra, of profound wisdom, repented of his action, and thinking of the great intelligence of Vidura in the matters connected with both war and peace, and of the aggrandizement of the Pandavas in the future, Dhritarashtra, pained at the recollection of Vidura, having approached the door of the hall of state, fell down senseless in the presence of the monarchs. And regaining consciousness, the king rose from the ground and thus addressed Sanjaya. My brother and friend is even like the God of justice himself. Recollecting him today, my heart burneth in grief. Go, bring unto me without delay my brother well versed in morality. Saying this, the monarch wept bitterly, and burning in repentance and overwhelmed with sorrow at the recollection of Vidura, the king, from brotherly affection, again addressed Sanjaya, saying, Go thou and ascertain whether my brother, expelled by my wretched self through anger, liveth still. That wise brother of mine of immeasurable intelligence hath never been guilty of even the slightest transgression. On the other hand, he it is who hath come by grievous wrong at my hands, seeking him, and bring him hither, else I will lay down my life. Hearing these words of the king, Sanjaya expressed his approbation, and saying, so be it, went in the direction of the Kamyaka woods, and arriving without loss of time at the forest where the sons of Pandu dwelt, he beheld Yudhishthira, clad in deer skin, seated with Vidura, in the midst of Brahmanas by thousands, and guarded by his brothers, even like Purandara, in the midst of the celestials. And approaching Yudhishthira, Sanjaya worshipped him duly, and was received with due respect by Bhishma and Arjuna and the twins. And Yudhishthira made the usual inquiries about his welfare, and when he had been seated at his ease, he disclosed the reason of his visit in these words. King Dhritarashtra, the son of Anvika, hath remembered thee. Returning unto him without loss of time, do thou revive the king, and with the permission of this Kuru prince, this foremost of men, it behoveth thee, at the command of that lion among kings, to return unto him. Thus addressed by Sanjaya, the intelligent Vidura, ever attached to his relatives, with the permission of Yudhishthira, returned to the seat named after the elephant, and after he had approached the king, Dhritarashtra, of great energy, the son of Anvika, addressed him, saying, From my good luck alone, conversant with morality, hast come here remembering me, and in thy absence I was beholding myself, sleepless through the day and the night, as on that have been lost on earth. And the king then took Vidura on his lap, and smote his head, and saying, Forgive me the words in which thou wert addressed by me. And Vidura said, I have forgiven thee. Thou art my superior, worthy of the highest reverence. Here am I, having come back, eagerly wishing to behold thee. Our virtuous men are partial towards those that are distressed. This is scarcely the result of deliberation. Thy sons are as dear to me as the son of Pandu, as the latter are now in distress. My heart yearneth after them. And addressing each other thus in apologetic speech, the two illustrious brothers, Vidura and Dhritarashtra, felt themselves greatly happy. Hearing that Vidura had returned, and that the king had consoled him, the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra began to burn in grief, his understanding clouded by ignorance. He summoned the son of Suvala, and Karna, and Dusasana, and addressed them, saying, The learned Vidura, the minister of the wise Dhritarashtra, have returned. The friend of the sons of Pandu, he is ever engaged in doing what is beneficial to them. So long as this Vidura doth not succeed in inducing the king to bring them back, do ye all think of what may benefit me? If ever I behold the sons of Pritha returning to the city, I shall again be emaciated by renouncing food and drink, even though there be no obstacle in my path, and I shall either take poison or hang myself, either enter the pit or kill myself with my own weapons. I shall never be able to behold the sons of Pandu in prosperity. Sakuni said, What fall hath taken possession of thee? The Pandavas have gone to the forest, having given a particular pledge, that what thou apprehendest can never take place. The Pandavas ever abide by the truth. They will never, therefore, accept the words of thy father. If, however, accepting the commands of the king, they come back to the capital, violating their vow, even this won't be our conduct, assuming an aspect of neutrality, and in apparent obedience to the will of the monarch, we will closely watch the Pandavas, keeping our counsels. Dusasana said, It is even as thou sayest. The words of wisdom thou utterest always recommend themselves to me. Karna said, All of us seek to accomplish thy will, and I see that unanimity at present prevaileth among us. The sons of Pandu, which passes under complete control, will never return without passing away the promised period. If, however, they do return from the failing sense, do thou defeat them again at dice. Thus addressed by Karna, King Duryodhana, with careless heart, averted his face from his counselors, marking all this. Karna, expanding his beautiful eyes and vehemently gesticulating in anger, haughtily addressed Duryodhana and Dusasana and Suvala son, saying, Ye princes, know ye my opinion. We are all servants of the king, waiting upon him with joined palms. We should, therefore, do what is agreeable to him. We are not always able to seek his welfare with promptness and activity. Let us now, encased in mail and armed with our weapons, mount our cars and go in a body to slay the Pandavas now living in the forest. After the Pandavas have been quieted, and after they have gone on the unknown journey, both ourselves and the sons of Dhritarashtra will find peace. As long as they are in distress, as long as they are in sorrow, as long as they are destitute of help, so long are we a match for them. This is my mind. Hearing those words of the charioteer's son, they repeatedly applauded him, and at last exclaimed, "Very well." And saying this, each of them mounted his car, and singing of success, they rushed in a body to slay the sons of Pandu, and knowing by his spiritual vision that they had gone out, the master Krishna Divayapayana of pure soul came upon them and commanded them to desist, and sending them away, the Haran, worshipped by all the world, quickly appeared before the king, whose intelligence served the purpose of eyesight, and who was then seated. And the Haran addressed the monarch thus: Vyasa said, "Hear what I say. I will tell thee that which is for the great good of all the Kauravas. It hath not pleased me that the Pandavas have gone to the forest dishonestly defeated by Duryodhana and others, on the expiration of the 13th year, recollecting all their woes. They may shower death-dealing weapons, even like virulent poison upon the Kauravas. Why doth thy sinful son of wicked heart, ever inflamed with ire, seek to slay the sons of Pandu for the sake of their kingdom? Let the fool be restrained. Let thy son remain quiet. In attempting to slay the Pandavas in exile, he will only lose his own life. Thou art as honest as the wise Vidura, or Bhishma, or ourselves, or Kripa, or Drona. Dissension with one's own king are forbidden, sinful and reprehensible. It behoveth thee to desist from such acts. Duryodhana looketh with such jealous towards the Pandavas that great harm would be the consequence if thou didst not interfere, or let this wicked son of thine, alone and unaccompanied, himself go to the forest and live with the sons of Pandu. For then, if the Pandavas from association feel an attachment for Duryodhana, then good fortune may be thine. For it hath been heard that, on congenital nature liveth him not till death. What do Bhishma and Drona and Vidura think? What dost thou think? That which is beneficial should be done while there is time, else thy purpose will be unrealized. Dhritarashtra said, I did not like this business of gambling. I think I was made to consent to it drowned by fate. Neither Bhishma, nor Drona, nor Vidura, nor Gandhihari liked this game at dice. No doubt it was begot of folly. And, knowing everything, yet influenced by paternal affection, I am unable to cast off my senseless son, Duryodhana. Vyasa said, What thou sayest is true. We know it well, that our son is the best of all things, and that there is nothing that is so good as a son. Instructed by the tears of Suravi, Indra came to know that the son surpasseth in worthy other valuable possessions. I will, in this connection, relate to thee that excellent and the best of histories, the conversation between Indra and Suravi. In days of yore, Suravi, the mother of gods, was once weeping in the celestial regions. Indra took compassion upon her and asked her, saying, Why dost thou weep? Is everything well with the celestials? Have any misfortune ever so little befallen the world of men or serpents? Suravi replied, No evil hath befallen thee that I perceive. I am aggrieved on account of my son, and it is therefore that I wept. See, yonder cruel husbandman is belabouring my weak son with the wounded stick, and oppressing him with the plough, in consequence of which my child, agitated with agony, is falling upon the ground, and is at the point of death. At sight of this, I am filled with compassion, and my mind is agitated. The one that is the stronger of the pair is bearing his burden of great weight. The other is lean and weak, and is a mass of veins and arteries. He beareth his burden with difficulty, and it is for him that I grieve. See, sore inflicted with the wimp, and harassed exceedingly, he is unable to bear his burden, and it is for him that, moved by grief, I weep in heaviness of heart, and these tears of compassion trickle down my eyes. Sacra said, when thousands of thy sons are oppressed, why dost thou grieve for one under infliction? Suravi replied, I thought I have 1,000 offspring, yet my affections flow equally towards all. I feel greater compassion for one that is weak and innocent. Then Indra, having heard these words of Suravi, was much surprised, and he became convinced that our son is dearer than own life. And the illustrious chastiser of Paka thereupon suddenly poured there a thick shower, and caused obstruction to the husbandman's work. And Suravi said, thy affections equally flow towards all thy sons, let them be greater towards those that are weak. And my son Pandu is to me art thou, and Vidura of profound wisdom. It is out of affection that I tell you all this. Thou art possessed of 101 sons, Pandu hath only 5, and they are in a bad plight, and passing their days in sorrow. How may they save their lives? How may they thrive such thoughts regarding the distressed sons of Pritha continually agitated my soul? If thou desirest all the Kauravas to live, let thy son Duryodhana make peace with the Pandavas. Dhritarashtra said, it is even as thou sayest. I know it well, as do all these kings. Indeed, what thou considerest to be beneficial for the Kurus was pointed out to me by Vidyura and Bhisma and Dorna. And if I deserve thy favor, and if thou hast kindness for the Kurus, do thou exhort my wicked son Duryodhana. Vyasa said, after having seen the Pandava brothers, he cometh the whole-rich Maitreya, with the desire of seeing us, that might Rish will admonish thy son for the welfare of this race. What he adviseth must be followed undoubtingly, for if what he recommendeth is not done, the sage will curse thy son in anger. Saying this, Vyasa departed, and Maitreya made his appearance, and the king with his son respectfully received that way-worn chief of Munis, with offerings of the Arghya and other rites, and King Dhritarashtra, their son of Anvika, in words of respect, thus addressed the sage. Half journeyed from the Kurujangala, being a pleasant one, are those heroes, the 5 Pandavas, living happily. Do those bulls of the Kuru race intend to stay out their time? Will the brotherly affection of the Kauravas ever be impaired? Maitreya said, setting out on a pilgrimage to the different shrines, arrived at Kurujangala, and there unexpectedly saw Yudhishthira the just in the woods of Kamyaka, and many munis had come there to behold the high-souled Yudhishthira, dwelling in an ascetic asylum, clad in deer skin and wearing matted locks. It was there that I heard of the grave error committed by thy sons, and the calamity and the terrible danger arising from dice that had overtaken them. Therefore it is that I have come to thee for the good of the Kauravas. My affection is great for thee, and I am delighted with thee. It is not fit that thy sons should on an account quarrel with one another. Thyself and Bhisma living, thou art the stake at which bulls are tied, and thou art competent to punish and reward. Why dost thou overlook then this great evil that is about to overtake all, and for those wrongs that have been perpetrated in thy court, which are even like the acts of wretched outcasts, thou art not well talked of amongst the ascetics. Then turning to the wrathful Prince Duryodhana, the illustrious rich Maitreya addressed him in these soft words: Give heed unto the words I utter for my good. Seek not to quarrel with the Pandavas, and compass thou thy own good, and the Pandavas, and the Kurus, and of the world. All those tigers among men are heroes of high prowess in war, gifted with the strength of 10,000 elephants, with bodies hard as the thunderbolt, holding fast by their promises, and proud of their manliness. They have slain the enemies of the celestials, those Rakshasas capable of assuming any form at will, such as were headed by Hidingva and Kirmira. When those high-souled ones went from hence, that Rakshasa of fierce soul obstructed their nocturnal path, even like an immovable hill. And even as a tiger slayeth a little deer, Bhishma, that foremost of all ended with strength, and ever delighted in fight, slew that monster. Consider how while out on his campaign of conquest, Bhishma slew in battle that mighty warrior, Jarasandha, possessing the strength of 10,000 elephants, related to Vasudeva, and having the sons of King Drupada as their brothers-in-law, who that is subject to decrepitude and death would undertake to cope with them in battle. Let there be peace between thee and the Pandavas. Follow thou my counsels, and surrender not thyself to anger. Thus admonished by Maitreya, Duryodhana began to slap his thigh, resembling the trunk of the elephant, and smiling began to scratch the ground with his foot, and the wicked wretch spake not a word, hung down his head, and beholding Duryodhana thus offer him a slight by scratching the earth silently, Maitreya became angry, and as if commissioned by fate, Maitreya, the best of munis, overwhelmed by wrath, set his mind upon cursing Duryodhana, and then, with eyes hid in anger, Maitreya, touching water, caused the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra, saying, Since slighting me thou the cleanness to act according to my word, thou shalt speedily reap the fruit of this thy insolence. In the great war which shall spring out of the wrongs perpetrated by thee, the mighty Bhishma shall smash that thigh of thine with a stroke of his mace. When the Muni had spoken, King Dhritarashtra began to pacify the sage, in order that what he had said might not happen. Maitreya said, If thy son concludeth peace with the Pandavas, this curse of mine will not take effect, otherwise it must be as I have said. Desirous of ascertaining the might of Bhima, that foremost of kings, the father of Duryodhana, then asked Maitreya, saying, "How was Kirmira slain by Bhima?" Maitreya said, "I shall not speak again unto thee, for my words are not regarded by thy son. After I have gone away, Vidura will relate everything unto thee." And saying this, Maitreya went away to the place whence he had come, and Duryodhana went out perturbed at the tidings of Kirmira's death.